And this experiment, it's a version of electrolysis, but this is specifically to split not anything that's been diluted in water to make a solution or the metals on your electrodes. Excuse me. This is to split the water itself. So all it is this is about 300 milliliters of water, or about a cup and a half, and to that I added let's see, about a half teaspoon of baking soda, and mixed that in very well until there were no bits floating in it anymore. And then I took 2 strips of aluminum foil and made sure that they're long enough so that they can go all the way down to the bottom of the jar and have some left over to fold over the lid, the rim of the jar rather. And then a 9-volt battery. Mine has Play-Doh stuck to it from previous experiments, and 2 bits of wire. Mine have alligator clips on the ends to make it easier. They don't have to. You can just wrap them around the terminals of the battery and wrap them in the aluminum foil to make the connections for your electrodes. And once it's set for a bit, I added some blue coloring to it to try and get my phone to focus on the bubbles. Can you see in the back there? Right? You see a little fountain of bubbles coming up along the edges specifically. That's where they're coming up the most. But really, even though my camera's not focusing on it, the entire surface of the aluminum foil that's immersed in this solution are covered in tiny little bubbles. And the red wire is connected to my positive terminal of the battery, and the bubbles on that electrode are actually what makes up the water is called H2O, hydrogen, 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen. On the positive, you get the oxygen bubbles, and on the negative electrode, you get the hydrogen. Now, of course, these are going to just recollect and recombine to make more water again. If you wanted to do this on a different way to collect the gases for other experiments, perhaps, use a bigger tank instead of a smaller jar like this, where you can fit other jars into it, so that above each electrode, immersed in the water, so that the regular atmospheric gases don't get in the mix, or at least get pushed out. Immerse it into the liquid, and then the gas bubbles that rise up will displace everything in that bottle until there's nothing left but those pure gases that you're collecting. Teeny little bubbles.